Welcome to the power of letting go. How detachment is the fastest way to achieve what you want. Written by Goddess Growth. Introduction. The paradox of letting go. In our pursuit of success, love, or any desired outcome, there is a natural tendency to hold on tightly to our goals, to control every aspect of the process, and to obsess over the outcome. But this approach often leads to frustration, stress, and resistance, pushing our desires further away rather than drawing them closer. The real key to manifesting what you want lies in an often counterintuitive concept: letting go and embracing detachment. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control the how and when of your desired outcome. Detachment means trusting that the universe has a plan, one that may be far more aligned with your highest good than you can currently see. It means maintaining faith while allowing the flow of life to take its course. In this audiobook, we'll explore how letting go and detaching from the outcome can accelerate the manifestation of your dreams. We'll dive deep into why attachment blocks your desires, and how embracing the art of surrender can bring everything you've ever wanted, faster and more effortlessly than ever before. Chapter 1. Why attachment creates resistance. At the core of manifestation lies the law of vibration, which tells us that everything, including our thoughts, emotions, and desires, carries a vibrational frequency. When we fixate too much on the outcome of what we want, we unknowingly shift our energy from a state of ease and trust to one of lack and desperation. This creates resistance. Resistance is the energetic blockage that arises when we obsess over our desires. The more we worry about whether something will happen or when it will happen, the more we inadvertently affirm that we don't have it yet. This focus on lack keeps us stuck in the energy of not having, and prevents the manifestation from flowing smoothly into our experience. Think of attachment as clutching sand in your fist. The tighter you hold onto it, the more it slips through your fingers. Similarly, when we are too attached to a specific outcome, we squeeze the life out of the flow of possibility. We lose sight of the natural, effortless way the universe works. Detachment, on the other hand, allows us to relax, release control, and trust in divine timing, which accelerates the manifestation process. Chapter 2. Understanding detachment. Detachment is not indifference or apathy. Instead, it is a state of allowing and openness. It's about releasing the need for control and trusting that what is meant for you will come to you in the right way and at the right time. When you are detached, you are still focused on your goals and desires, but you are no longer emotionally dependent on their outcome. The essence of detachment is trust. It's the belief that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is always working in your favor. Even if things don't happen the way you expect, they are happening in a way that ultimately serves your growth and highest good. Detachment is also about being present. When you detach, you are no longer fixated on the future and can fully immerse yourself in the present moment. This presence allows you to enjoy the journey rather than constantly worrying about the destination. Detachment isn't about abandoning your dreams or desires. It's about letting go of the mental and emotional stranglehold you have on them so that you can move into a state of flow, where things happen naturally and effortlessly. Chapter 3. The power of surrender. Surrender is the twin concept to detachment. Surrendering means you allow yourself to trust in the unfolding of events without forcing or controlling the outcome. It's recognizing that you have done everything within your power, and now it's time to let the universe take over. Surrendering requires humility. It asks us to step back from our ego-driven need to control everything. When we surrender, We stop resisting what is and instead accept the present moment for what it is. We allow life to unfold in its own perfect timing. Contrary to popular belief, surrender is not weakness. It's one of the most powerful states of being. When you surrender, you align yourself with the flow of life, which opens doors and opportunities that you could not have imagined while trying to control everything. It creates space for the universe to bring you what you desire, often in ways that far exceed your expectations. Chapter 4. Shifting from neediness to wholeness. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to manifest their desires is because of the energy of neediness. Neediness is rooted in lack and desperation. When you approach life from a place of needing something in order to feel complete, you push that very thing further away. Detachment, on the other hand, comes from a place of wholeness. When you are detached, you recognize that you are already complete, and that external outcomes will not define your worth or happiness. You shift from a mindset of, "I need this to be happy," to, "I am happy and open to receiving even more." This shift in energy is crucial for manifestation. When you come from a place of wholeness, you attract more abundance, love, and success into your life because you are no longer coming from a place of lack. You radiate confidence, trust, and positivity, which the universe responds to by bringing you experiences that match that high vibration. The key to this shift is cultivating self-love and self-worth. When you deeply believe that you are enough just as you are, you no longer cling to outcomes. Instead, you allow them to flow into your life naturally. Chapter 5. Trusting in divine timing. One of the hardest parts of manifestation is trusting in the timing of your desires. Often, when we set out to manifest something, we expect it to happen within a certain time frame. But the universe doesn't operate on our human concept of time. It operates on divine timing. Divine timing means that everything happens when it's meant to, not necessarily when we want it to. Sometimes there are unseen factors or lessons that need to be addressed before your desire can manifest. Other times, the universe may be orchestrating something even better for you than what you originally envisioned. Trusting in divine timing requires patience and faith. It means believing that even when things seem like they're not happening, they are still unfolding behind the scenes. The universe is always working on your behalf, and detaching from the need for instant results allows you to relax and enjoy the process. The more you trust in divine timing, the more you allow your manifestation to flow to you effortlessly. This trust allows you to stay in alignment with the vibration of your desire, rather than dipping into doubt or frustration. Chapter 6. Letting go of control. Control is an illusion. As humans, we often believe that if we just plan enough, push hard enough, or think through every possible outcome, we can control the future. But the truth is, life is unpredictable, and the more we try to control it, the more we create stress and resistance. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means trusting that the universe has a plan, and that you don't need to micromanage every detail to ensure your success. It's about allowing space for magic and serendipity to happen. When you release control, you make room for the universe to surprise you with possibilities that you couldn't have imagined. Often, we limit ourselves by being too attached to one specific outcome or path. Letting go opens you up to infinite possibilities and allows your desires to manifest in ways that are even better than what you envisioned. Chapter 7. The emotional freedom of letting go. Letting go brings a profound sense of emotional freedom. When you are no longer attached to outcomes, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of highs and lows that come with trying to control every aspect of your life. This emotional freedom allows you to experience more joy, peace, and contentment in the present moment. You stop living in a constant state of anxiety about the future and instead focus on what you can do in the here and now. You trust that everything is unfolding as it should, which brings a deep sense of calm and assurance. When you are emotionally free, you are more resilient in the face of challenges. You understand that setbacks are not failures, but part of the natural flow of life. You are able to move through difficulties with grace and trust, knowing that everything is ultimately working out in your favor. Chapter 8. How Letting Go Accelerates Manifestation. The irony of letting go is that it's often the fastest way to achieve what you want. When you let go of attachment, you remove the energetic blocks that were preventing your desire from manifesting. You enter a state of flow where things happen effortlessly and naturally. When you are detached, you send a powerful signal to the universe that you trust the process and are open to receiving. This lack of resistance allows your desire to come to you more quickly because you are no longer pushing it away with neediness or control. Letting go also aligns you with the frequency of abundance. When you detach, you radiate a sense of confidence and trust that draws your desires to you, like a magnet. You are no longer trying to force things to happen, which allows them to happen more easily. Chapter 9. Practical Steps to Cultivate Detachment. Now that we've explored why detachment is so powerful, let's dive into practical steps you can take to cultivate detachment in your life. 1. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and focused on the moment rather than obsessing over the future. Incorporate meditation, breathwork, or simple grounding exercises into your daily routine to cultivate a sense of inner peace and detachment. 2. Set clear intentions. When setting goals, be clear about what you want, but avoid obsessing over how or when it will manifest. Trust that once you've set your intention, the universe is already working to bring it into reality. Focus on the desired feeling or experience, and then release the need to micromanage every step. 3. Visualize and release. Visualization is a powerful tool in manifesting, but once you've spent time visualizing your desired outcome, let it go. Don't spend every waking moment thinking about it or worrying about whether it's coming. Visualize with joy, then trust that it's on its way. 4. Develop gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you already have. When you practice gratitude regularly, you align with the frequency of abundance. By being thankful for the present moment, you reduce your attachment to future outcomes, knowing that you are already blessed. 5. Take inspired action. Detachment doesn't mean passivity. It's about taking action from a place of joy and inspiration, rather than fear or desperation. Listen to your intuition and act on the ideas or opportunities that feel right without obsessing over the results. 6. Embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and that's part of its beauty. Learn to embrace the unknown, knowing that it's in the moments of uncertainty where the most magical outcomes can emerge. Detach from needing to know every detail of how things will unfold. 7. Let go of timelines. One of the hardest attachments to release is the idea that something must happen by a certain time. Understand that the universe's timing is often better than ours, and that delays are not denials. Trust that things will happen at the perfect moment for your growth and highest good. Chapter 10. The Emotional and Spiritual Benefits of Letting Go. When you master the art of detachment, you experience profound emotional and spiritual benefits. You feel lighter, less burdened by the weight of unmet expectations, and more at peace with the ebb and flow of life. This peace comes from knowing that you are not defined by any specific outcome, and that your worth is not contingent on achieving certain goals. Spiritually, detachment aligns you with a higher level of consciousness. It allows you to see beyond the limitations of the ego, which constantly craves control and validation. By letting go, you surrender to the flow of the universe and become more attuned to its wisdom. This shift in perspective brings a deeper connection to your true self and the world around you. On an emotional level, detachment frees you from the cycle of stress, anxiety, and disappointment. When you are not tied to specific outcomes, you are more resilient in the face of challenges. You are able to experience life's highs and lows without being thrown off balance, because you trust that everything is happening for your greater good. When we embrace detachment, one of the most significant emotional benefits we experience is freedom from fear. Much of our anxiety and stress come from our attachment to specific outcomes, whether we fear losing a relationship, not achieving a career goal, or missing out on opportunities. But when you let go, you release that fear. You understand that whether or not the specific outcome happens, you will still be okay. This emotional freedom allows you to approach life with more confidence and less worry. Letting go also reduces suffering. Suffering often arises when we cling to something that is no longer serving us, whether it's a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling job, or an outdated dream. By releasing attachment, we free ourselves from the pain of holding on to things that don't align with our highest good. This detachment opens us to new possibilities that can bring greater joy and fulfillment. From a spiritual perspective, detachment deepens your trust in the universe or the higher power you believe in. It allows you to see that life is not just a series of random events, but rather an intricate web of interconnected moments, each one designed to guide you closer to your true purpose. When you let go, you surrender to this divine flow, knowing that the universe is always working in your favor. Detachment also cultivates humility. It reminds us that we don't always have all the answers and that sometimes the best thing we can do is step back and allow things to unfold naturally. This humility opens us up to receive guidance from a higher source, whether through intuition, synchronicities, or signs from the universe. Chapter 11. How letting go affects relationships. Detachment plays a crucial role in the health and longevity of our relationships. Whether romantic, familial, or friendships, attachment can create an imbalance of power and expectation. When we are overly attached to a specific outcome in a relationship, whether it's expecting someone to behave a certain way or needing them to fulfill certain emotional needs, we create pressure, both for ourselves and for the other person. When you let go, you allow relationships to evolve naturally. You stop trying to control or change the other person, and instead accept them as they are. This acceptance creates a space of unconditional love and understanding, where both individuals can grow and thrive without feeling stifled by expectations. Detachment fosters healthy boundaries, allowing you to love deeply without losing yourself in the process. Letting go in relationships also means releasing past hurts and resentments. Often, we hold on to old wounds, replaying them in our minds and allowing them to affect our present interactions. But by practicing detachment, we free ourselves from the grip of the past and open ourselves to experience love in its purest form, without the baggage of old pain. In romantic relationships, detachment is especially important. When you cling too tightly to the idea of how things should be, you miss out on the beauty of how things are. By letting go, you create space for your partner to show up as their authentic self, and you also free yourself from the need for constant validation or reassurance. This leads to deeper, more fulfilling connections where both partners can flourish. Chapter 12. The role of faith in letting go. Letting go requires a deep sense of faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, and faith in the universe. When you let go, you are essentially saying, I trust that things are unfolding as they should, and I trust that whatever happens is for my highest good. This faith allows you to release your grip on control and move through life with a sense of peace and ease. Faith is the antidote to fear. When you trust that the universe is on your side, you no longer feel the need to control every outcome. You understand that even if things don't go as planned, they are still working out in your favor. This faith is what allows you to stay grounded and centered even in the face of uncertainty. Building faith takes time and practice. It's something that grows as you experience the power of letting go and see the positive results that come from it. Start by reflecting on moments in your life when things worked out in unexpected ways that ended up being even better than you had imagined. Use these moments as reminders that the universe always has your back, even when it feels like things aren't going your way. Faith also involves trusting your intuition. Often, our intuition nudges us to let go of something that no longer serves us, but our fear of the unknown keeps us holding on. By cultivating faith in your inner guidance, you can more easily release what needs to be released and open yourself to the new opportunities that await. Chapter 13. The practice of non-attachment in daily life. Non-attachment is not just a mindset. It's a practice that can be integrated into every aspect of your daily life. The more you practice letting go, the easier it becomes, and the more aligned you become with the flow of the universe. Start small by practicing non-attachment in simple situations. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and running late, instead of getting frustrated, practice letting go of the need to control the situation. Recognize that you've done all you can, and the rest is out of your hands. This shift in perspective allows you to remain calm and centered, even in challenging situations. Another way to practice non-attachment is by setting goals without becoming overly attached to the outcome. When you set an intention, focus on the action steps you can take to move toward your goal, but release the need for things to unfold exactly as you envision. Trust that if something doesn't go as planned, it's because something even better is on the way. In your relationships, practice non-attachment by allowing people to be who they are without trying to change them. This doesn't mean you tolerate unhealthy behavior, but rather that you accept others for where they are on their journey. You can still hold boundaries and communicate your needs, but without the expectation that the other person must change in order to meet them. Lastly, practice non-attachment to material possessions. Recognize that while it's okay to enjoy and appreciate the things you have, your sense of self-worth and happiness should not be tied to them. By practicing gratitude for what you have without becoming overly attached to it, you create space for more abundance to flow into your life. The practice of non-attachment extends beyond just emotional and mental habits. It can transform the way we experience the physical world. Non-attachment doesn't mean you don't care or have goals. It means you allow space for life to flow, without your constant need to control every outcome. By cultivating this approach in small, everyday experiences, you build the resilience and openness needed to manifest your larger desires. In your career, for example, non-attachment could mean letting go of rigid timelines. Maybe you've been aiming for a promotion or a job change, but every effort seems to hit a dead end. Instead of feeling frustrated or disheartened, practice releasing your attachment to when it will happen. Focus instead on improving your skills, staying open to new opportunities, and trusting that when the timing is right, the perfect role will present itself. When we obsess over exact timing or specific outcomes, we often close off the opportunity for something even better to come our way. In daily decision-making, applying detachment can help with balance and perspective. For instance, if you're faced with a difficult choice, instead of agonizing over the possible consequences or doubting your decisions, allow yourself to take a step back and release the pressure. Trust that no matter which path you choose, the universe will guide you to where you need to be. Often, it's this act of surrender that leads to the most clarity. This same mindset can be applied to material possessions. It's natural to want nice things, to aspire for a comfortable life filled with the objects and experiences we desire. However, attachment to material wealth can create anxiety and lead to a scarcity mindset. When we release our obsession with accumulating and focus instead on gratitude for what we already have, we create an energetic shift that invites more abundance into our lives. Paradoxically, the less attached you are to material wealth, the more effortlessly it tends to come to you. Chapter 14. Mastering the balance between desire and detachment. One of the challenges of manifesting through detachment is striking the right balance between desire and letting go. It's important to remember that desire itself is not the problem. It's our attachment to those desires that can create obstacles and lead to feelings of frustration or lack. The key to mastering this balance lies in intention. Set clear intentions for what you want to manifest in your life, but approach those desires with a sense of curiosity and flexibility. Instead of needing your goals to manifest in one specific way, be open to the idea that they might arrive through a different path, one that you hadn't even considered. This balance allows you to stay motivated and driven while also keeping your peace of mind intact. You can still set goals, take action, and work toward your dreams, but without the emotional roller coaster that comes with constant worry or fear of failure. One useful practice is the concept of detached involvement. This means you stay engaged with your life and work toward your goals, but you remain emotionally unattached to how things will unfold. You trust that whatever the outcome, it will be the best possible one for you, even if it looks different from what you originally imagined. This balanced approach also creates space for growth. Often, when we fixate too much on a single goal, we miss out on opportunities for expansion or learning that could lead us in a better direction. By detaching from the specifics, you remain open to the possibility that your desires will evolve over time. And that's okay. Chapter 15. The paradox of letting go to receive. The process of detachment is often described as a paradox, because in letting go, you actually create the conditions for receiving what you desire. It seems counterintuitive, but when you release your grip on something, you allow the space for it to flow to you more freely. This paradox can be applied to all areas of life, whether it's love, career, personal growth, or health. The more we allow, the more we receive. When you stop trying to force things into being, you make room for them to manifest in ways that are often beyond what you could have imagined. Detachment helps you step into a mindset of abundance, where you trust that there is always enough love, enough opportunity, enough resources. It shifts your energy from scarcity, where you feel you need to cling to every opportunity, to abundance, where you know that everything you need will come to you in the perfect time. Conclusion. Living with peace, purpose, and trust. As we wrap up this audiobook, I want to leave you with this thought. Letting go is not about giving up on your dreams or desires. It's about giving yourself the freedom to live without the constant pressure of needing everything to be perfect. When you release your attachments to specific outcomes, you open yourself up to a life of greater peace, purpose, and trust. Detachment allows you to enjoy the present moment fully, without being weighed down by worries about the future. It frees you from the limiting belief that you must control every detail in order to be happy or successful. Instead, you align with the flow of the universe, trusting that it is always guiding you toward your highest good. By practicing detachment, you accelerate the process of manifesting your desires. You allow the universe to work its magic, unimpeded by your fears, doubts, or need for control. In this state of flow, you become a magnet for abundance, love, and success, drawing them into your life with ease and grace. So, as you continue on your journey of manifesting your dreams, remember that the fastest way to achieve what you want is to let go of the need to have it. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't yet see the bigger picture. If you enjoyed this audiobook and want to explore more about how to manifest abundance in all areas of your life, I invite you to check out the next video in our series on manifesting abundance effortlessly. Together, we'll dive deeper into the art of attracting success, love, and fulfillment naturally. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Keep manifesting, keep believing, and most importantly, keep letting go.